you just tell me, can these schools be dangerous in the NCAA tournament or not, all right?
Okay.
Montana State won the Big Sky.
Great job by first-year coach there, but they lack the talent to do anything, so no.
Okay. Longwood won the Big South.
Yeah, Griff Aldridge, you might be looking for him at potentially an SEC school or a strong mid-major next year. His name's being bandied about. He's done an amazing job. That school's entirely irrelevant in basketball and now have been back-to-back years to the NCAA tournament. I think Tennessee buried him last year in the tournament. And again, they have the coaching, but again, they lack the talent, which is just a reality of the world of college basketball nowadays. They might be able to hang for a little bit because the guy's really smart and will have them well prepared, but eventually talent will overwhelm them, I believe.
Okay.
So no.
All right, a guy that we are familiar with because he was in Memphis's league for a long time, and we didn't realize he was even there until we saw the game the other night. Stetson, our old buddy Donnie Jones, was on the sideline for them. He had a kid go for like 45 in their title game. We've tried to convince ourselves that, hey, you know what? If you got one player that could throw a team on their back, maybe they could be dangerous for somebody. No?
No.
They suck.
Well, yeah. No, again, it's they're fine for the program. He's done a very good job at that program. I don't think he's a very good coach.
Okay, a team that we do have a connection to here because our boss, the big boss at our business, his son is on staff there. So we root for Charleston. Please tell me Charleston is good.
Very good. Very well coached. Very, very good. You saw it last year, right? They should have beaten San Diego State, who, as I recall, made the final game.
Yep.
So they controlled that game almost the whole way. And I believe some shaky refereeing might have got them at the end there. But, yeah, no, they're very good. They're every bit as good this year as last year. The coach is terrific. They have enough talent. They use a lot of players, so they won't get as worn down as some teams do. Yeah, very, very big-time threat in the first round.
So you look at it, we see whoever Charleston is drawing, we're going, okay, this is one that has real upset potential.
They won't like it. Kelsey's very, very good. They run terrific stuff. They know what they're doing. And they've been through it last year, and that's always helpful.
I was excited to ask you about this one because, you've been on with me for over a decade. I know you love this coach at Oakland. Yeah. And I saw he made it the other night, Greg Campy. Does he have a team that can be dangerous?
I'll tell you, he's so good at player development and adapting to the situation at hand, and he runs this very, very tricky zone that unfortunately teams will have 3 or 4 days to prepare for, but in actuality is very, very hard to deal with. He will definitely control the tempo, and that zone, if you're not making shots, can make people's lives miserable. In theory, they shouldn't have any chance, but it is campy, and he does know what he's doing. So, yeah, it may throw a scare into somebody.
And if we get one of these, like, teams that has not played together for a lot of years or like a thrown-together team or a poorly coached team, then they could be.
Yeah, for instance, if they played Memphis in the first round, it'd be a good bet.
Stop. How about Duke? Duke got
run
out last.
I don't know. I'm on the fence there. I thought Shire would be great, but that's not the case.
They got beat by friggin' NC State last night, right?
It's actually the best strategy just to go out in the first round. I've talked about that before.
Rick Barnes is adhering because I've got a TV over here and they're getting their ass kicked by Mississippi State.
Yeah, that Mississippi State's the one team that I bet to win the whole thing earlier in the year. They started off like a house of fire. I absolutely love Chris Jans. And Toe Smith hadn't even started playing for them yet, so I thought they'd reach very, very high heights. But Smith has not. In fact, the rating's gone down since he started playing, which is very, very strange. He's a lock pro and he's a rim protector, which is probably that and the point guard, the two most important positions on a basketball team. So maybe they're starting to get their act together, or maybe Tennessee's just a no-show, and Mississippi State's playing to get in the tournament and now are succeeding.
Yeah. All right. All right.
I do like that Miss State team quite a bit.
So Oakland would be totally dependent upon, like, if they're dangerous, who their opponent is, whether or not they can be dangerous.
Would matter a lot.
The next one I'm going to name, I know for certain, can be dangerous because I happened to watch them last Sunday afternoon and saw them come out the gate and knock down like their first 7 threes. I watched Drake versus Indiana State, and I was like, oh, God. Like, this is a team that, like, I saw them get hot against Indiana State, and it was like, these kids, I was like, I texted my buddies. I said, these guys don't miss. Because I was watching, because I love the big goggle guy, Avila, for Indiana State. But I think that Drake team, I could see them taking down somebody good.
Yeah, absolutely. Incredibly well coached. Do have the coach's son, DeVry, is very difficult to deal with. And they run beautiful offense. They defend very, very well. They don't give away anything. And they won't even be a big dog to anybody in the first round because they're not going to be some, 13 or 14 seed. They're probably like who knows with this committee, but they're probably a 10 or an 11, and they're not even probably a dog in that game.
Ohio Valley's got Morehead State.
Another coach that's worked miracles at his school, but again, he does a very good job. But again, they just don't have the talent to hang. And it sounds repetitive, but that's
I know.
That's the actuality.
I'm with you. That's the way it goes with these small conferences. One that I know you have liked in the past, and a conference that has produced upsets in the past, the Patriot League is Colgate this year.
Okay, so I thought this would be kind of a down year for them, but Matt Lango is so good that, of course, they just play right to the level they've always played at. And, yeah, Colgate's always a threat. He runs perhaps the best offense, maybe next to Indiana State, maybe the best offense in the country.
Southern Conference, Samford?
Yeah, very good. Buckyball.
Really?
You'll be hearing about it, yeah.
Buckyball?
The coach's name's Bucky. Oh. He's a local guy who was a high school legend, and he's a lot of these high school guys are really, really good, and they and D2 and D3 guys too, and they just move up and just crush it.
Let me see.
The school plays to a very high rating. Like they're no joke. And
Bucky,
he has a very
Bucky McMillan.
Yeah, he's great.
They're 29-5. Jesus.
They won like 17 or 18 in a row. They won some insane number of games in a row. They take a lot of threes. They're very willing. They might press and cause teams fits. He's very, very modern, I guess is the word you'd use, and creative in his approach, and they can be very, very difficult to deal with.
Samford, then there's one that we can keep an eye on.
Very small school in Birmingham, yep.
McNeese State, we know Will Wade. He's there.
Yeah, and he has a lot of high-level talent there. That kid Wells from TCU is an absolute beast. He's their point guard. I watched them the other night. They are very good. They defend the three very, very well. They defend everything very, very well. And, they're prone to taking some bad shots here and there, but their talent is comparable to a low, high major team, lower level high major team. And they went into Michigan and buried them before Michigan mailed it in for the year.
South Dakota State, the Jackrabbits.
Prior incantations of this team have caused teams fits, but this team isn't as good as they are. But again, a team that can start bombing in threes and make life miserable. I don't think they'll be pulling any upsets, but they have a history of making teams sweat.
Is James Madison eligible? There's some belt. Okay, their sports have gotten awesome. James Madison's got good sports now. So the basketball team's good now too, huh?
Very good. Their coach is nuts, yeah. Really, really good.
And another one that you talked up a couple of weeks ago, and they certainly paid off in terms of if he believed in them. You loved this version of St. Mary's, and they obviously won their conference tournament.
Yeah, well, watch them play, bro. They could go a long way.
You really?
I do predict they'll get an 8 or a 9 seed, so they have to play a 1 seed in the second round. That's kind of like the committee's favorite trick when they want to knock someone out. But
so we got a lot to keep an eye out for on Sunday. St. Mary's, James Madison, McNeese State, Samford, Colgate, Drake, Oakland, depending on matchup, and Charleston. That's a lot of teams that can be pretty dangerous in this tournament, in your estimation.
The Chris Vernon Show, presented by Caesars Sportsbook, live weekdays at noon